Welcome back everyone to Venlo Zoo, and welcome back to the first DLC episode with the brand new DLC today. So this is our city-based zoo, Venlo Zoo, and in the last episode we actually already prepared a habitat for the wonderful Himadras baboon, and this one was actually a little bit of a nice sign-off to Maggie Smith, and if you want to catch that one up, I highly recommend watching the last episode. You'll see this habitat also filled with baboons, as you can see on screen right now, but more about that later. Today's episode will actually be about the Coquerel's sifaka. And also, first things first, as you guys always keep correcting me with the wonderful pronunciation, I will say that every one of you was kind of wrong this time around. Like, people told me after my DLC video it was the Coquerel sifaka. But it's not true. I just did even more research. You don't pronounce the A at the end. I did actually watch a lot of these documentaries and stuff like that to make sure that this is all correct this time around, and it's the Coquerel's sifaka. This is how you pronounce that. So I finally did my research, I guess. Anyhow, on screen you can see a lot of great buildings already, which potentially you already have or have not seen. If not, this is a little spoiler for Sylph's series. He is building a Dutch city in Planet Zoo. Big thanks to Sylph for getting me these things over and let me use them, because obviously I'm building a Dutch city zoo and it would be kind of weird to not use that. And also, there's absolutely no freaking way that I'm doing better buildings than Sylph did over here. Also, I do not recommend to do this because the amount of pieces he used is absolutely beyond anything I have ever seen in this game. I tried making a habitat out of the whole thing, first of all, and that caused my game constantly to crash. And if you want to check my description, you know that I have a beast of a computer, and even that isn't able to handle it, which was a bit of an odd thing. So I needed to divide that in four simple ones. Well, actually, they're still incredibly big, and you've seen in the time lapse how long it still took by 8 times. 8 times. You can skip back to the point where I plopped them down. This is 8 times sped up, and it still takes about like a couple seconds until it is actually is that like emerged, I don't want to say, or realized in here, I don't know, it's just kind of materialized, I should say, in here. Now, I was using these buildings to be completely honest with you, because of a bit of a lack of time at the moment. I am, preparing a lot for becoming second-time dad, and I, have a lot of stuff to do, busy times at work as well. So I just have to kind of juggle these things around. So Sylph's buildings came in very handy, and honestly, just makes a lot of sense, to be completely honest with you, because, we're talking about the Dutch city zoo, and he's building a Dutch city, so why not? So there's a lot to talk about with this specific habitat. Now, I want to mention that these buildings I took over here, they will be obviously changed, and I will keep on building this in a different way. So what you're going to look at right now is the front side of what is going to be a reptile house. Now, this might sound odd, because the Coquerel sifaka doesn't really have anything to do with a reptile house, which is fine, but I wanted to make sure that we have a fun integration with it. So as you can see, to the back side of the facade, I'm going to open up everything for them to have an indoor section, and on the back side there will also be a viewing gallery that is only accessible from inside the reptile house. So you have a bit of a nice connection, and the reason why this, in my opinion, makes sense is to just share the heat in that house, because the reptile house will require a bit of energy and heat, and so that heat can also be redirected into the area of the Coquerel sifaka indoor areas, because obviously these are again animals, lemurs, that are used to live in a very hot and humid environment, so they will require a good indoor areas that is also offering them enough to climb around. It's not done in this episode on intention. This is not really down to not having time. This was intentionally done because I want to make this all feel like one once we're doing the reptile house in the next episode, which is going to be very fun, and I'll show you in the real-time part later on how this is going to plan out. Because I want to bring in specifically the American tortoise, the African tortoise we are going to get with this pack as well. It just really is a beautiful model. I'm going to show you all the models at the end of this video as well, just really quick, so you have an idea how they're all looking. But this time around, I'm not going to make like a dedicated overview. I believe I don't. I think I don't. So we are doing this just in this video. And you can see all of these at the end of the video too. Now, I specifically wanted to get into building again. Like, I have my own thoughts about this pack, which I'll get to in a second. Now, see, the point of this build was really to provide these animals with a huge space. And the reason for that is relatively simple. Because I feel like turning that into a city zoo and making sure that this is modernized, we won't have that many animals at the end of the day as this zoo potentially has had in the past. However, I want to give those animals a specific treatment that are in the zoo. And so this Coquerel sifaka, the habitat itself is potentially the biggest you've ever seen for an animal like this. However, we may actually end up having more than one species of lemur in here. I thought about that, or actually getting them with some other interspecies beneficial animal that goes with this in the habitat. But I just wanted to have this outside kind of aviary look with the nettings from the Oceania pack actually, and making sure that this kind of looks nice to have over here and separated from the other primates of this pack, which is the Himbra's baboon on the other side. So just having some climbers in one area, also like, continent-wise, it's not like perfectly fitting, but it's also not that far away. I mean, we've got Madagascar to the south of Africa, and we've got Africa, and we're still with the desert house, which also has like a lot of African animals in. So we are kind of on theme. But I also said like I will never be like completely going for like continental areas. This was never the plan of the zoo. Like it is always nice to have this if it works out, but if there's one or two animals just like in between that that won't fit in perfectly, it's still okay. But I mean, we also do have the African penguin just across the street over here, so all in all, it just makes a whole bunch of sense to have them here. And we could easily have another African animal go into this habitat as well. I just am very pleased by how it turned out, and I'm also just very pleased by how this whole zoo is turning out. There's a lot we have to talk about in the real-time part, simply so you have an understanding where the city is gonna go, and I obviously have to look into how I'll do this with the performance. You'll notice that when I show you the building in real-time part. Like, this real-time part today is going to be very important. Like, make sure to really watch that closely. It's going to be very interesting. Now, let's take these last couple minutes of me putting down a lot of nature and making sure the habitat looks nice. We're going to talk about the habitat in specific also in the real-time part. But I want to talk about the DLC. I want to quickly get my thoughts out for the DLC. I've actually watched a lot of other videos from other creators that were doing several videos on how they feel about this potentially last pack, and it's so odd that normally I am the one in the last packs. I've been the one being a bit more negative maybe about these packs, and like not negative per se, but like questioning where this is going and the choice of animals. And it's actually so funny that now everyone seems to be kind of annoyed with this pack, and I'm not. Like I see the point. Like maybe it's because I went beyond that point of being excited for these DLCs too much, because I know we are in the end game of the game of the game support, and I'm just happy that we still get some official stuff like that. That's it. See, we are over 5 years into the development of a game, and we have become so used to Frontier giving us content that it feels like normal, and as if this has to be the case. But I mean, look at the industry, look at other games. There are barely any games out there that provide you guys with so many DLCs that are always of a great quality, like, or let's say of a very good quality, at least a decent quality, over all these years. And I mean, people will tell me, about The Sims, for example, or City Skylines in the past, but didn't even they also go really down in quality after a while? And specifically The Sims, I know of how much of a backlash that is lately. So we are getting content, which is great, and I think they are good enough. Like, yes, the animals do have some flaws, at least the and as far as I know, the Markor has, but like, it's not as bad as it was with the Binturong, I gotta say that. And the cat, the Palace cat, for example, is typically a Frontier cat. I'm not sure what they have with their cats, but apart from the lynx, the European lynx, which is absolutely phenomenal, that's the absurdly best cat model we have in the game. all the other cats they did, they just kind of look weird. And they don't look bad, but they look way too comic-y in comparison to all the other great animals they do. So it's just the continuation of their cat pattern, I should say. So I'm not even the slightest kind of surprised with this. Like, could it be better? Yes, but like it's still pretty decent. Like, and also the pieces we got that are used a lot in this build specifically, they are great. Like, we have a lot of very generic zoo pieces in squeezed into this pack. Like, I don't really know how they justified that, but like there are so many pieces that we can really use. Like, this festive set is a very nice facade for actually giving us some generic pieces like these metal beams and some little metal stuff, even some nice little rope pieces and a kind of classic zoo fence. Like this fence we talked about in this shot when I was looking at the DLC actually is a new one, and some very cool like flags and all that kind of stuff. Like, really, I'm pleased. Like, the pieces are better than in the last packs, and they were even more in the last packs, but I'm more happy with those pieces. So all in all, I know it's not the same quality as with, like, let's say even the Arid animal pack, or of course, it's not even remotely close to the European pack, for example, but that's nothing I would have expected at this point in time. And surely this is, well, I would be very surprised if it isn't, but I guess this is the last pack. You can clearly tell that all these animals they have packed into this pack and chose the name that basically allows every animal to go into that. These are leftovers from other packs, and I'm not even, like, I don't even have a problem with that. Like, sure, they could have done new animals and stuff, but like, I think it's more realistic that they wouldn't have given us another pack. And so they decided to go on with all the leftovers and at least give us a pack. So they make money, we have new animals, fine. Is the price tag fair? Yes, it is. It's, if you take all of these together and put them on an average, it's great. We had packs that surely would have been worth even more, and we have packs that potentially were worth less. But at the end of the day, on average, yes, it's worth it, and I'm very pleased with this. So yeah, all in all, I'm very positive. Now, let's jump over into the real-time part, and I'm gonna show you how this all looks in real time, and we have a look at all of the beautiful new animals. Here we are in front of our wonderful new Coquerel Sifaka habitat, and you can see them already climbing around. More about that in a second. Just for you as a feeling where we are, so this is at the back side of our desert house. This is where you come out. Like, let's just quickly check in. So this is the side of the desert house where you can see over here we've got the peccaries, and then if we go in out of here, now you have, oh, look at that, this is just looking so much better now. It's not like the emptiness ever over here anymore. You just have this wonderful building in here, and I just like that tower that Sylph built. I mean, just look at that. This is ridiculous. But yeah, let's wait until I show you how many pieces he used. Then that's just game over. Yeah, a couple of new things I wanted to show you. But before so, as always, our new members of the channel. So hey, and welcome back to Kim. We go over here as well. Hello, Stelu or Stelu or whatever. And then of Travis Wilden. You guys are in here for the new area. And this is, I place you on these wonderful things to continue the theme of these kind of member polls, I want to call them. And then on this hand side over here we have the Coquerel Sifaka. We do need a bit of education here. I don't have done this as of now, but I mean, it just looks so cool, I guess. And if we're over here, you can see them. There's also this new enrichment, the jelly pie thingy, jelly cake, I don't know. And yeah, you can see the Coquerel Sifaka. They are typically, oh my lord, what a jump. They are typical lemurs running around like crazy. And they do have, I'm gonna sneak in myself here real quick, they obviously do have that wonderful jump. There you go. So that is a very unique animation to the lemurs. They have a very specific jumping animation. And yeah, this time I went for the looks of it. It is like usable. This habitat is usable, but it looks absolutely weird because they're glitching like crazy. Like I'm very careful to what I say over here. It looks good for the most part, but if you look beyond the curtain, it just starts to become a little bit more obvious how broken sometimes the climbing system can be. But yeah, this is how it looks, and I'm a big fan of how it looks. If we continue going over here, usually we should see our baboons, the Hamadras baboon on the other side. We do, look at them. They are now in their habitat, and I feel like The habitat we did last time just really works well. Like, I really like how this turned out for them. They have a good time in this habitat. This is like a very spacious one as well. Not as spacious as this is in comparison, but definitely is spacious as well. And it all looks very cool in the context of this. But this corner over here specifically, I feel like looks so cool. Like with the building that Sylph did, and I just turned that into like a little cozy, enjoyable area where you can have a seat, and then you see the animals climbing over here, or you can have a check of the Hamadras baboon on the other side. There is one of these new apple trees. They came with a free update, so we've got some apple trees in here. There's a bigger variant of it, which does this also come with fruit on it? Well, kinda, you know. I mean, obviously, to not go crazy on polygons, they just have done this way. Like, it's a good tree. It's not the best one. If you check, for example, one of my favorite ones of the game, the ash tree next to it, yeah, well, I like this quality more. But yeah, in the background, you can see this is the town that Sylph did. And in a second, we are going to look at that. But first things first, I gotta jump over into another save where I have all the other animals in. And then we'll find ourselves back in this position over here. So hold on for a second. Alright, as promised, we are here very quickly looking at all the animals of the pack. I'm just going to pause the game real quick to go over them. As I said, I'm not going to go into make it too much. This is the little Kirk's Dick. Oh gosh, I love the model. I really want to build something for this one very soon. Then we've got the Palace Cat. I am a bit more of a fan of this one in-game in comparison to the shots we've seen beforehand. A bit more happy about them, to be completely honest. And then, let's see who else is in here. We've got the bear, the spectacle bear. I like this one. I really do like this one. And it's a good model. The shader is, I don't know what it's doing in this pack. It's the same with all animals. Maybe there is an easy fix for that, but they all look a bit weird. But, you know, it is what it is. It looks decent enough, if I may say so. And like animation-wise and so on, they're all very cool. Like the typical stuff, glitching and so on, is very much the same. But I do specifically like the shading on the Palace Cat. Look at the little brownish, reddish in here, and with the paws. Yeah, just really like that. If we go over here, we do have the Markhor in here, and is this one. And I am very much fine with the female model. I'm also okay with the male model. What people said, and we'll be talking about, is the fact that these hairs over here are not animated. They are just kind of glued to it. So that is a bit odd because they already have a shader where the hairs actually do work completely fine, like gravity-wise, completely correct. It's a bit odd that it is this way, but other than that, yeah, like especially the horns and so on, I do think I like a lot. Like, people have been talking about the face and if it's correct or not. I'm not too much into these animals. I have checked up a couple of real-life images, and I must say, yes, I do understand the criticism, so maybe they're about to change this. But all in all, I'm very happy to have another big old goat in here. Can't think of any habitat as of now, but maybe we are going to have one in the future. So that is pretty cool to have it. And if we go over, let me just check real quick. In here, we do have the bit of a surprise animal from the free update, and this is the African leopard, which should be that one. Whoops. There you go. And I am a bit surprised by the quality of it, because it is good and it is not as I've expected. The whole, maybe you can see that now, this is my personal opinion, okay, but I feel like the whole body is a little bit better in comparison to what they usually did. Like, specifically look at this angle. Like, the head is not as comic-y and as fat as the other ones are. And also the body itself is a bit longer. Like, specifically this one over here stretches out very nicely. And I gotta say that this potentially is the best looking big cat in game next to the lynx. And that is a very good testament to Frontier making this one now. Can you give us the chill pose that you need to have for us now? Because that's the good old odd one in the game that we don't need. Just make the correct one, please. I'm very positively surprised by this free animal. Really love that. The Amur leopard, in comparison, which potentially is the one that this is based on, it looked a little bit too comic-y, as I said early on. They just didn't really nail the cats in general. So Yeah. Can you do the chill pose here for us? The correct one. That's not the correct one. Whatever you do. Moonwalk. Just beat it. Okay, never mind. Let's continue checking out the animals. I wonder where I did put the other ones. In here, oh, and the Coquerels, sifaka, we don't even need to look at because I've already shown them to you. Where did I put the tortoise? Is that also in? Maybe this is also in here. Maybe it was just too slow. Ah, there you go. It was too slow. There you go. Look at that one. This potentially is the best model of the whole pack. I really love it. Oops, wrong button. There you go. This is the African spurred tortoise. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy. Not gonna lie. It's okay. It's okay. Right, after we've checked out the other animals, let me just also get out of this explore mode and go back into the free mode and fly up a little. So I can give you a bit of a context what is going on next. So this corner over here is becoming our little reptile house. Many people have asked me to do reptile house, and we will put the tortoise in here and all the other ones as well. This is gonna get a little bit bigger than what you see over here. So my plan is to really span that out in this entire back area over here. So this is one of our backstage roads that will be in here, and then on this hand side, this is still the plan to turn that into an elephant house of some sort. And if you see the town, it's gonna stay there. Not sure if I'm going to go and build the zoo all the way there, but I will keep on putting the city in here somewhere, and also on this side as well, to just give the city a bit more of a nice context. But like, let me just show you real quick what happens if I click on one of these buildings. You can see this building, let alone, has 2,000 somewhat pieces, and the reason for that is because Sylph, as you can see, did the roofs all individually. Like they are all done piece by piece. Like it's just, I mean, look, this is looking fantastic. He even did some, like, the backstage is all done and stuff like that. Maybe I have to get rid of some of the backstage stuff because you just literally can't see that. But he even went in and made like a custom fence in here, and I just want to showcase that because I'm so thankful that Sylph gives me access to all these things. Like, there's no way I would build this on my own. So that's that. And this is only 3 of the pieces, and I'm going to be very brave now. I'm going to try to plop down the other one. We've got this one, like there's one left, and I wanted to put this down with you together so you can see the sheer craziness of what Sylph has built. So I believe it was that one with the Dutch 3. Is it that one? I believe it's the only one missing. Yeah, that's the one because it has that cathedral to it. Or the, not cathedral, but like the little church, I guess. So realistically, to make that really a nice little town, I would need to, yeah, that's actually the question. Where do we put this? Because like the zoo should span out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this one in front of this area, like here, so that the zoo has a bit more of a natural barrier. So I'm gonna bring this all the way down, so we have to sync that in here. Like, don't worry about all the streets and stuff. I'm gonna get rid of that and make this look better. We're just gonna bring this over here. And now, you'll see when I click OK, you will see the madness that's gonna happen now. It's gonna take a while. There you go. Oh, no, actually, this was... Yeah, well, the performance needs to come back to us. There you go, it's back. But that one actually cost... Oh, well, it didn't. Okay, we are back at 60 FPS. So I'm just going to delete this one. I'm very curious to see how this affects my performance over time. Because, as you can see, the game is playing, it's all good, and we have that in the background, and performance is flawless. We are still at 60 FPS, which is really crazy. I didn't think that this is going to happen. And whenever we have issues with the performance, I can still rip apart the city in the background. But this is what Sylph did. And what I want to do is use some of these facades and keep putting them around my zoo, like, or actually just have this city in the background as a context, and then maybe have another one here on the side. But I feel like this is so cool to have that. Like, realistically, I would need to copy that a couple of times to make this town even bigger, but then the performance will really say goodnight to us. But yeah, you can really tell, like, when I try to check more pieces, it doesn't tell you how many pieces that is. This is a little bit of an issue because it just like says 308 objects, which, yeah, it's not really helping you that much. But as you can see, he actually used like individual roofs and these roof tiles as well, the clay roof, and then did some on his own again to get a different shading in. And oh god, it's so beautiful. It is so magnificent. Also that church over here, my goodness me, Sylph, what the heck did you do? Look at that. It's all individually done. Like, that is just absurd. What's that even? Oh my god, look at that one. The tiniest pieces, Indonesian pieces in here too. Then obviously all the windows are custom made. It's just like, that is ridiculous. I'm obsessed with these buildings. Like, this is so typical Sylph, but it also fits our region so much. I'm so thankful that he's gonna have me, give me these to use them. And my plan is actually not to span this out too much. Maybe actually we're going to have like a little river over here crossing through to just really give that even more of a Dutch feeling. So there are many ideas I have in mind how to bring that in, but you can really see how condensed these buildings are in comparison to my zoo. But you'll find some of these buildings throughout the zoo anyways. And yeah, this is that for today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, look at this vista. If we just stay over here, imagine there is more here. And then it looks so cool to have the city in the background. Ah, it's gonna be so good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this DLC and what you want to do with this, how you think the animals are, and I talk to you in the next one. Until then, have a good time and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you then. Bye.